This is Random Urban Memories, brought to you by the Rum Boys. You've seen, heard, or felt it on the streets. Well, we're here to talk about it.
And hello, welcome back to the show. What do you know? Let's go and roll.
With rhinestone jewelry.
Get it.
Rhinestone jewelry.
By the way, speaking of rolling, Canada legalized. Actually, that was totally off topic. That's not on our list at all.
Not on our comprehensive to-do list today.
Yeah, very comprehensive to do. How odd is that? That's
Yeah, I think it's like I didn't know that they are trying. They had the British Columbia BC butt.
Yeah,
like they have the famous kind of like strain. Is it strain?
Yeah, it would be strain. Yeah.
So I think that it was kind of like common, but I didn't know that they were trying so hard at the moment. So
I wasn't even.
It was like coming out of nowhere.
I mean, a lot of countries are trying to legislate that kind of thing, but no, it's just interesting. Yeah. Another. Now watch the crime go through the roof, man, and it'll be fucking crazy. And all the kids are going to be walking around
zombies, junkies.
No, guess what? It's going to do good for the economy. It's going to go do good for crime. Yeah. Funding a crime and all that, but we talked about that before.
California started to make like huge, like loads of money,
unbelievable.
Right after they legalized it. So
yeah,
I mean, it's a no-brainer,
really.
Yeah. To me.
So I just wanted to get one thing off my chest. This thing about the royals having babies. Can I just make the point? Fuck off. Nobody gives a shit. The point is, a lot of people give a shit. Do you, but it's just my opinion is, I really don't care. I don't, leave the fucking people alone. It's just like, did you see the fun dress she was wearing? Did you see, it's just fun.
Yeah. Like, what did she do it now? Why did she not wait up until the end of tour? It's like she's pregnant, man. Doesn't matter.
And then that was Pippa Middleton having a baby, then Meghan Markle being pregnant. I mean, fuck off, man. It's who?
But everybody is making such a big thing out of it. You know, I mean, it's so like 1990s. It's like, oh my god, these guys are going to have a baby.
I know.
There's like, you are not shitting yourself up because of anybody apart from your own baby or somebody who you know. Like, you are not going to go crazy because of.
I just don't understand how it is of such interest. I just cannot put myself into the mindset of somebody who follows this religiously. I just don't get it. It's
like, you're happy for them. I know about it. Great.
Fair enough. Mazel tov.
Hopefully it will be a good person when they grow up.
And another tax burden.
Yeah. But
but besides that though.
Yeah, it seems strange that it's like everybody seems to be like, or a lot of people are kind of like drawn into it, and they're like, oh, like Meghan and Harry and all of this, and it's like, what is going to be the name of it, name of the kid, and like how it will look like.
So, I mean,
what?
Just let them be.
Yeah.
Let them be ultra rich and with babies.
Ultra rich and I mean, why would you care about the Illuminati babies? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to bring that up. It's a bit annoying. But what had been going on in the world a little bit today is that the quite outspoken journalist Khashoggi seems to have been killed inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Mm-hmm. The whole thing is very mysterious. The timeline of it is quite bizarre as well. On October the 2nd, he went in, and then he never appeared out again, or he never walked out again, which the Saudis, of course, deny. But there's just simply no proof. He's missing. Yeah. His wife, I think, was waiting outside for him, something along those lines. And then, he was then tortured and then killed and then dismembered.
Yeah, yeah.
And apparently his iPhone, his iWatch, or his watch, his Apple Watch, had recorded that and had uploaded it to the cloud. And I didn't get a chance to look at the article, but he posted his last Washington Post article shortly beforehand, and they published it. And he had kind of said something along the lines of, "This will be the last time that I post," so he knew something was up or so. He was just going into the consulate because he is in Turkey. He needed some marriage papers or something like that. And so apparently.
But that's crazy. Like I know, like I seen the footage of him going in.
Yeah,
I know that. Like I heard that that apparently I think that they already admitted, or they're trying to figure out how to communicate the fact that there was some interrogation. They know about it, so like there is apparently talks, like in Saudi Arabia, in the by the top guys. And as far as I know, there was one of the guys that was doing the interrogation. So apparently, like the interrogation went wrong. But there was something dodgy, because they brought apparently an expert on pathology expert.
Okay.
Who apparently did something, like they put him into parts.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
It's just the thoughts behind it that's what I can't seem to figure. Well, it'll all come to light anyway. And the American reaction was just hilarious. It's like Trump just turned around. He was like, "Well, guilty until proven innocent." Same as Brett Kavanaugh, even though Brett Kavanaugh was not in a legal battle. It was a hearing. He just assumed he was innocent. Yeah, but he's doing the same thing here, because remember, they're selling a lot of arms to Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is providing them with a shit ton of oil. So the response is quite simply, leave them alone, guys. We'll find out. But it's all
Turkey, hand over the video.
The investigations team is there, or was there, a Turkish investigations team, because it's a murder or a suspected murder on their soil. But I just don't understand what the thinking behind it is, or what that could mean. But I guess that'll...
It's weird, but I think that there was something with the prince. The prince was...
Oh, he was very outspoken against the prince.
The young one.
The Saudi prince, yeah. So, the one that's bringing in massive reform, as in women are allowed to drive.
Also, so hang on. So the guy, the journalist, was actually against this.
No. Sorry, he was speaking again. On the one side, he's the Saudi prince is putting a big face of reform and modernizing.
Okay.
But in the background, he's probably doing some
dodgy shit.
And then he was an outspoken journalist against him.
Yeah.
And but that's women being able to drive. I mean, what religion ever mandated that? It's the people behind the religion or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, it just doesn't make sense, the whole thing with the stuff.
But that brings us on to kind of like assassinations as well, and we had talked about assassinations before, but the poisoning in the UK recently.
The one that they said there was Russians.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they were founded. They were found. And he was then poisoned with Novichok,
nerve agent.
Novichok, nerve agent. Him and his daughter, and his name was Sergei Skripal. And then the initial reactions from Russia was, at first they were like, "We suspect." Britain in the media was like, "Oh, we suspect Russia." Russia turns around, she goes, "What? How dare you? What? How could you throw these allegations? They're unfounded and unbased." Then it turns out that they knew that they were Russians, at least.
Yeah.
Russia then turns around and goes, "Yeah, that cannot be. These are normal citizens. How dare you accuse them?"
Yeah.
And what was very interesting was that a website or an investigations site or new agency called Bellingcat had instructed a professor at a university to do some face aging reconstruction, which is quite reliable, and by checking documents and all that kind of stuff as well. So it turns out that the two suspects, Boshinov and Petrov, were that's what they were identified as, these two Russian citizens, And, well, after more investigation, it turns out that it's actually a colonel... Wait, I need to check that, actually, because my handwriting is so atrocious, man. It's unbelievable.
That they are... But they were... What were they saying that they were originally? So, like, what were they cover identities?
Sorry, what they discovered
teacher
was...
or trainer or something.
Yeah, they were just normal citizens kind of thing. Yeah, the normal jobs, that kind of thing. But then it turns out that it's a Colonel Anatoly Chepiga and a Dr. Alexander Mishkin. And it turns out that they're both fairly high-ranking in the GRU intelligence agency. Mm-hmm. And now Russia's response is like,
yeah.
So what the fuck are you going to do about it? Yeah. So it's very interesting. Yeah,
you got me. You got me.
Ah, well, shit happens.
You got me. Well, can we keep them there?
It's a long list of very open assassinations, if you think about it. You know, like just journalists falling out of apartment windows, shot in elevators, shot, on sight of the Kremlin.
Yeah.
And I had a little bit of a think about it, and I read something as well that there might be purpose behind it, because I can only assume that most assassinations happen very quietly, such as drone targeted assassinations, that kind of thing. That's something we wouldn't really hear or see about. But I assume that these spy agency assassinations, such as poisonings and all that, would be carried out quietly. People just kind of disappear or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there might actually be logic behind the madness, in the sense that it gives agents or double agents a warning not to fuck with the motherland. You get what I'm saying? It's a very open... that shows them we have no scruples, we have no problem in the open.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We will get you, we will find you, including opposition.
It's like usually, at least I imagine it like that they shouldn't be the people who make mistakes. That it would be public then afterwards. So you would be like,
exactly.
Okay, so why would you use a nerve agent that is not going to work right away and da-da-da-da? And there was the same thing with the guy a few years ago. Where they met him on for a tea, and then they found out that he basically lost all of his hair, so it was like something with radiation. Within 3 or 5 days, he just died.
That was Alexander Litvinenko.
Yeah.
And he was killed with radiation poisoning or whatever. Like
that was crazy.
I mean, come on, that's an open letter.
That's like
And the story behind Sergei Skripal actually was he was a former US FSB spy for a long time, but then he became a double agent for the British intelligence agencies. Okay, so he was reporting to them in the late 90s and early 2000s. In 2004, he was arrested and sentenced to 13 years in prison.
Fuck.
Okay, for high treason
in Russia.
In Russia, they caught him.
Fuck.
And what happened then was, as part of a 2010 spy swap program that some countries had. He was exchanged for Russian spies.
All right.
Then, a couple of years later, mysteriously poisoned. So
that's crazy.
So there you go. Yeah, that's a clear message to all the people out there.
That's crazy. I just can't imagine, like, when you were thinking about, like, spies and all this, like, you think about, like, World War II and then 50s, 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
Not even 70s, but then suddenly you're like it's 2018, and we literally have people who are doing this.
Yeah,
like
they're active.
There's like active, like literally. It's not a movie that these things happen, and it's not like a SWAT or like it because like when you think about like special units or anything like that, they do it in a way that everybody can. Well, a lot of times people can see it or like that, but they don't normally have to be like living in a double life or like different double identity, have like try to pretend that they're something completely different, and then I don't know. It's so weird.
But it's just it happens more than you think. It's
Like, you just don't realize it's like these things just come up.
There's like undercover Israeli agents. There's a CCTV footage of them entering like a hospital, and then they just come into a room, assassinate the person, and just leave. And then there's the other famous one. It was a bunch of, as far as I remember, it was Mossad agents, and you see them all pile out of an elevator and go into a hotel room, suffocate and shoot whatever it was, the person, and it's just all 6 of them or 8 of them, whatever it was, calmly walk out. And apparently 2 of them had fake Irish passports. Now, what kind of a fucking dilemma is that for Ireland? Like Israel doing secret hits internationally, and then Irish passports.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
Well, Ireland shut the fuck up fairly quick about it. Kissed ass, said, okay, that's no problem, take our passports, take our citizens' passports, and go do hits on people. So that was fairly...
That's crazy.
See, it does happen more than we think.
Yeah.
You know?
But we just don't know. Like, you just don't realize it.
Those are only the ones that come up, you know, that you see.
Because like normally doctor would be like, well, yeah.
Do you know what? I think actual spy work though, like these are the ones sensationalized ones or whatever, and like you said, not the under intelligence agencies, the special forces or whatever that they have. Even the CIA has like specialized teams that nobody knows anything about. But I think actual spy work is surprisingly mundane and boring and banal. So what you're doing is you have probably drops or you send off through a secure channel, but most of the things you're doing is, and not even on a daily minute-by-minute basis, is copying documents or something like that. You do your job and you pass on little tidbits of information that you hear or see, that kind of thing. And I think it's actually a hell of a lot more boring. And what people don't realize is the agencies are made up of analysts and that kind of thing. So they just sit at the computers monitoring phone calls or checking financial records. They're auditors kind of thing. So it's not as glamorous. I think there's only a few James Bonds out there. And they're usually highly military trained killers, like, so.
Yeah, it's fucking like, it's so weird. Like, I wonder like how they, but also, you know, like when you think about it, like, how do you get recruited for this? Like, do they only choose people who are like, I don't know, like you have to be in police, or do you have to be in the agency, or do you have to be in like a soldier, ex-soldier or something like that? Yeah. How do you become a spy when you are not any of these?
Well, as far as I know, the MI6 or MI5 actually recruited openly in a newspaper for analyst positions, that kind of thing. Do you want to help your country, that kind of thing. So you just had to apply and do a whole bunch of stress tests and interviews and that kind of stuff to see if you're mentally capable of actually data analysis, more or less. But how you rank, I don't know. I assume the higher-ranking ones come from some form of military background. Of
if they recruit like specific people that they see.
If that happens, I don't know. I don't know if they actually go.
This is the thing. Like, if they go and like, there's someone, I don't know, or that you are like somehow connected to police, and because like a lot of times special forces are also made out of former criminals. Like at least in Slovakia, like the special forces, like the SWAT teams, can be made out of people who had previously crimes, or that they have been somehow connected to organized crime or something like that. That they would be like, okay, so you either go to the prison, or you will turn and work with us. Now, in one case, it didn't work that well, because there was one unit that turned completely, and they kidnapped the guy, and I think that they even killed him. Actually,
what the fuck? That's like the Rampart division or something.
It was like they literally like got into his house. I think that they held him there for like 2 or 3 days, tortured him. I'm not sure if the family survived, but it was like just fucking crazy shit, literally crazy stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It was like an organized group.
Bandits.
Yeah. And nobody could do anything because they were like the special units.
Yeah.
Crazy shit. Yeah. But every time you see them, like even when you saw the oldest guy who looked like a complete nerd, he was like, you looked at him and you're like, oh god, like,
stone cold.
It's like you can see that the craziness in his eyes, that it's just, oh shit, like I wouldn't like I wouldn't want to be like tortured by you.
No thanks.
It's crazy shit.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Only in a good way now.
Only in a good way, guys. Yeah, nobody lodge any formal complaints or with the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland or anything like that. In case you are not aware, there is going to be what's called the Blasphemy referendum, because it is still written into Irish Constitution that blasphemy is actually illegal, and it's prohibited by Article 40.6.1.I of the 1937 Constitution, and it's applicable only to Christianity. And the last prosecuted case was in 1855. Only Christianity, because nothing else existed back then.
But they're saying, I heard when there was the official ad on the radio, they were saying that any religion. So there might have been some change, but like I was literally listening to that part. I'm like, are they going to say Christianity or any religion? And they said any religion.
Oh, maybe
it might be like in general
amendments to it that I'm not aware of. But Stephen Fry got in trouble of it with the interview with an Irish broadcaster that he had, and he said something along the lines of, "What kind of God would give children cancer of the eye? What kind of God? If that's the kind of God, that's not one that I want to meet."
Yeah.
And he's been outspoken about this before, but you can actually get I think €25,000 fine or something like that, theoretically. But the problem with this is separation of church and state. Incredibly important. That's how it should be. Yeah. Because you can't have one govern the other. No, sorry, you should have one govern the other. Yeah. And it certainly shouldn't be the church. Yeah, going the other way.
Yeah.
So for you to say something bad, you can technically be arrested.
Yeah.
But what's been happening is countries have been using this blasphemy law as a justification of prosecuting blasphemies in other countries. So they can. Yeah, Pakistan proudly pointed to Ireland and said, right. "Look, a good European Christian nation has a blasphemy law in their constitution, so therefore we will hang all these blasphemers."
It's crazy.
It's
the most craziest shit ever.
But interestingly enough, it doesn't seem like that there's much interest in it, because it's such an old, ignorant and ancient kind of law that people are kind of like, so what? Like, what the fuck difference does it make? But it makes a clear statement to vote against it.
Like, I mean, it can be like even because the example of Stephen Fry he was talking about this, and then someone listened to it, and I think that they were in Cork. They walked down the street to the Garda station
and lodged it,
and literally fucking complained about him.
Made a complaint,
and they had to investigate him.
Yeah,
so they literally had to investigate him.
Yep.
It's a crime to talk shit about stuff like this.
Yep.
Even now, I'm kind of like, I cannot. Like,
no, you can, because then that should fall under opinion or freedom of speech kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like,
but if you,
how can you have a freedom of speech in a country where you prohibit it?
I know
this
exactly.
Way? Like it just doesn't make sense. And like, I don't know how it would be interesting to see how the Constitution actually contradicts itself in these situations, because it must be. Like, freedom of speech must be written in Irish Constitution, right?
Yeah, but through amendments, that kind of thing. It's just simply not like it can be foregone, because if it's written in the Constitution, then that's one point that has to be done. I'm sure the Constitution in many places contradicts itself.
Yeah.
So it's an ineffectual law. And it just needs to be removed so that it's simply not there anymore in the founding documents,
Now, I think that America wants to do something around hate speech.
Yeah.
That you literally cannot say that you hate someone. So they're trying to push this law, apparently, through into the bills to say, okay, well, you cannot hate a group of people. So if you say, but it doesn't have to be a race or religion. You can just say, I hate all cops. And you could be prosecuted because of it.
See, here we go again with the fine line of free speech. I'm all for free speech, but free speech can come with consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah. Free speech means, and this is what a lot of people don't get. Free speech just means that the government can't censor or shouldn't censor what you say.
What you say.
Okay? But that does not mean that there's going to be consequences from coming from it. Like
Yeah. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but there will be something.
I mean, Germany, due to the Second World War, does have some careful laws, inciting violence, that kind of thing. Or especially, inciting violence or inciting something against a group of people. So if you do a rallying cry and say, let's burn all refugee homes or whatever, that's a very clear violation of that law. And that's not free speech. You're telling people to go harm someone else. It's premeditated. So, people don't tend to get the difference between that, Or when there's a backlash and now it's like, oh, here's the PC political correctness brigade again. But it's like, when you say, all women are shit or all men are fucking ridiculous, whatever it is, like just whatever it is, and then you complain about that. People complain to you. Oh, here's the PC brigade again. No, it's not about that. Like you're after inciting something. And of course, there's going to be repercussions of some sorts. Be it mostly on social media.
So weird. Like there was an ad. I'm not sure if you heard about this. There was a hotel, I think, in the UK, and they started to build this ad. And on the ad, there was a couple, a man and a woman, sitting in a bed having breakfast. The man was reading Finance Review. The woman was reading fashion magazine. Yeah. Now suddenly there was a big backlash on Twitter from ladies to say, "Well, I read financial reviews," and it's like, I'm like, is this? They literally had to pull the. They literally had to pull the ad because there were not so many complaints. I don't think that there were so many
enough complaints,
but it was even brought up as a problem. I mean, I understand the point, but if it would be something like the ad would be saying, it's only men who read the financial review. I mean, of course, everybody knows that it's both sexes who, or anybody who reads a fucking financial review, right? Yeah. But maybe that person who created that ad just never, I don't know, maybe never seen a woman or never seen a man reading a fashion magazine. I read fashion fucking magazine. If I see them and I have nothing to read around me or just want to go through it, I open a fucking fashion magazine.
I mean, there's so many points now that I guess they're social justice warriors, we call them. Like, there's so many real problems and so many real issues in society that should be addressed. But to hop on every single little
we are literally fucking discussing everything.
We had millennia of inequality for women. Yeah. Okay? And I think that's why, and through social media and Russian trolls on the internet, it's all amplified. Yeah. But I completely 100% agree. There's so many inequality issues ranging across the whole spectrum. Yeah. But to jump on absolutely everything, I think is taking away from the problem. It's good that it's been highlighted. It has been. I think how earlier how it started was quite simply people got sick of it. With the whole inequality thing, so it became a more vocal movement. As in,
because you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. I could go on Twitter and I could be a man, and I would be like, why does he have financial reviews? Because I usually read fashion magazines. I never read Financial Review, for example, right? So I could say, well, this is sexist because I should have fashion magazine. So you technically put the stereotype there also to say, well, men, you can always flip it the other way around. You know?
Can, but I think the thing is, maybe for the last 100 years, women shouldn't have read financial reviews. Now they can and should. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's So it's a long backlog of anger and resentment and that kind of thing boiling over. We're now in a society where it should be everybody should be able to pursue whatever it is that they want, and that's spilt over, rightfully so. Don't get me wrong, rightfully so. It's spilt over, but now to hop on an ad like that is just ridiculous. Yeah.
Imagine because it's not an ad where you would be like, oh, this is like a racist or. You would see sexist or racist ads easily, right? Because you can like literally spot them, and everybody, and there will be like a majority of the people will be like, oh, fucking this is, but you don't even know this. And like when you read the article, and there's like, oh, and there's a reason behind this. You look at the picture, and it's like, what?
It's just like
the strawberries in the fucking bowl are not organic, or what is it? Like, you found out that they have been genetically modified or whatever. Yeah. You know, it just doesn't make any sense.
I think it detracts from.
We should be focusing on fucking like making sure that women have the same fucking pay as men. Yep. That there's equality in fucking numbers in the parliaments, in fucking government. That they have leading positions also in all of the institutions, public institutions, fucking private institutions. We should be focusing on these things, and not fucking like who reads what. Who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a fuck.
No.
Like, I mean, and like I spoke to women about this also, and they said, like the ladies I was talking to, I'm like, is this me that just looks at? It seems that it's weird. Like, no, it's freaking ridiculous. Like, why would you? Like, what does it matter what people read?
See, that's the thing. And if they spent that amount of energy,
and if we would go by data, if we would go by data, I would pull the number of the readers of each, and then we can see how many people are actually. What is the percentage of male readers? What is the percentage of female readers of both of these magazines? And then I'll be like, if I would be the hotel, I'll be like, do you know what, Jane? Fuck off, right? Because it doesn't make sense.
See, that's
you know, like, let's talk numbers then.
Yeah.
Because then, yes, you can take. I don't know. Like, it's like, it's very hard to even explain or like take a different example. That it's like, I don't know. We are using Sennheiser headphones.
Yeah.
We are men.
Yeah.
Our video should be taken off, right? Because there are women who are using Sennheiser headphones, right? So why are we portraying that male are using Sennheiser? It's the same logic.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. I just think it's a waste of energy. It's good to highlight it.
Yeah.
But don't waste all your energy. Then go into lobby groups. Go to marches. But
the easiest thing is to write a tweet. The easiest thing is to write a tweet.
But it's like, go and find these videos.
It's just anger, and it's like, oh my god.
Fuel.
Like, how could you do this?
No, man. It's just there's real issues, and they need to be addressed. You know, highlight them, fine, but don't blow a casket. You know what I mean? Apart from the situations that do require it, but you know, in general. Yeah. So how you been anyway after that little intense outburst of fuck the internet?
Yeah, otherwise okay. I'm just very busy lately. Like I don't know. I feel busier after the Masters than I was during the Masters. I just don't get it. I'm so like every evening I just have something
going on
to do. And I have like very small, like at the moment, small amount of like rest, which is also showing on me. Like I'm a bit tired at the moment, but I think that I just need a balance. Yeah, need to find a balance. I think it was just too many things, and then you have the time that you are like, oh, so now I have all of this free time, so I'll just sign up for all of these things, and then you're like, so you pay for a gym, and then you don't go to the gym for like. for 4 weeks, and I'm like, great that I paid for 3 months, so 1 month is gone. That's like €50. Great. So you're just literally, and then you are like, oh, fuck, I'm getting fatter. Like I gained a lot of weight also. So like a lot of my shirts are getting small on me. So I'm like, you know, that doesn't add in terms of like not depression, but it's like, oh, I have to do something. I have to start eating healthier. I have to. I don't know. It's just a lot of like, you know, stress and work and like busy days. Yeah. You know, you want to make sure that you are with your family, girlfriend. You know, like you just want to make sure that everything is up and running. And
yeah. It's
what
not that easy,
you?
man. Yeah. Not that easy. Yeah.
I can't imagine having a family. I'm just thinking about it now, like a lot lately, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I'll be so busy. I'll be so fucking.
But I tell you
I'll be very tired.
But I tell you what, it kind of levels itself out because it's not, when you have a kid, it's not like a hobby you picked up or a car that you can work on or something like that. This is it switches automatically, you know, like the instinct switches, and then you manage. Same as anything really in life, like you find new routines.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as easy with smaller children, but like right now, my family is in the next room kind of thing, because they know that we're recording now at this time.
Yeah.
So you find these little balances and routines, even dropping her off to school, that kind of thing, while I still need to get to work before a certain time. Activities at the weekend. So you'd be quite surprised on how you find time all of a sudden. Maybe not as much time as you want for your shit.
Yeah. This is the thing. I think that what will be happening is that I'll be dropping a lot of stuff.
Yep.
You know, that I'll be like, so like I'm not gonna go to gym. I will probably not go to jiu-jitsu as much. Not that I'm going there at the moment a lot, but
maybe for the first year or something. But once you and your partner can and do have balance, then that means Thursday will be for recording this podcast. Wednesdays will be for jiu-jitsu, and then Mondays and Tuesdays your partner will do something. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So you do strike a kind of balance that's that just comes naturally, you know, because you do need to do stuff as well.
Yeah.
But that's what the consultants
we
said.
were in Dublin over the weekend, and we were staying in Sandiford.
I used to live there.
Yeah,
near the racecourse.
No, I haven't seen that, but
okay.
we have been staying in the Beacon Hotel, where Beacon Hospital is. Like it's all like built up now, and we're walking through the buildings and all of that, and then the friend that we were visiting also, he points at one apartment block and he's like, "This is the most expensive apartment block in Ireland," and I'm like, "Why?" He's like, because the rent pressure zones, they apply only on the buildings that have been built before 2016. Now, this building was built after 2016, so what the landlords are like, well, fuck it, the rent pressure zone doesn't apply to me, so why should I not just increase the rent by, let's say, 25%?
Oh my
So
God.
they increase the fucking thing, and those are already expensive apartments to rent. So it went up to like these crazy numbers. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like a couple of grand minimum.
Fuck.
Right? Then, so these people who can afford it, now obviously these are not poor people who are renting there, right? But these people literally went on a strike and said, I'm not going to fucking pay this, right? So they pushed it and they just increased it by 4%. But it's fucking crazy. You know, like, there's no fucking limit if you don't do this. You know, like, everybody's fucking asking for, like, if you check prices of houses now, people are asking for ridiculous amount of money. Ridiculous amount of money. It's like, let's say in Bijna, there's a house.
Yeah.
It's one of those that it's like an estate house, so they are all connected to each other, right? 400 grand. 400,000. It's not even the one they are the expensive ones in Bijna.
Yeah.
Up the road. 400,000. 3-bedroom.
Jesus.
Like nothing.
It's not gotten better at all.
You know, like, where are we? Fucking Hollywood.
Pretty much that's where we're going, actually. That is pretty much where we're going.
With these prices, I think that we will be there.
There has been no improvement. I can see now a couple of updates that we saw that there's more estates being built now. So the pressure was on. Again, we talked about this in the last episode, but it's still not enough. It's still not enough. Rather than taking control and building the houses like they used to, they're handing it off to the private sector, because the private sector will never work for itself. It'll always do the best. Well done. We've seen that not work for the last 30
I think what they should do is they should start to build like apartments in Galway, same as they do in like in Dublin. Like you have now predominantly what you see is a lot of apartments.
Yeah,
but you don't have that in Galway. So they are again like building houses.
Yeah,
but you don't need houses.
See, the thing
you
is,
have a lot of like young people.
But it's the property culture.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what they need to change.
Nobody here, like most of the world, they will live in their own apartment forever and renting. You know? Yeah. If your rent is €400 a month or kind of thing, you know. But here, it's you got to have the house in the yard and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
But do it but later on. Do it later on in your life, right? But if you are like young,
but if you can
working professional or whatever, go and get an apartment or like live there with like one or two other people. Yeah. But I think that for the development and like building and like space, etc., it will be probably easiest to be building like nice apartments. Right.
Well, there's a couple of developments coming up at the docks in Galway in Ireland. So and the Cant station as well. But most of those are going to be shops as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's in the docks. It will be offices. It will be
most likely
very expensive apartments because it's like it's fucking docks. Like you're right in the middle of the city. So it's not going to be like young families there.
They just can't get their shit together.
No,
they really can't. That's
that's
life, I guess.
And with this awkward silence, we are going to say goodbye, our listeners, and see you next time on QWFM.
You're going to get sued.
QWFM?
I have no idea if they exist.
I don't know. I don't think so. No, I hope not. But this is Irish QWFM.
Okay, exactly. Yeah. That's how we roll. So, folks, send us. We will leave you with these. Thoughts and rantings.
Wise words.
And send us in, email us your suggestions, ideas, things you'd like to talk about. No, excuse me.
Like us to talk about.
Thank you.
But even what do you talk about? We want to know.
Yeah, exactly. What's going on in your heads? How do you feel? Yeah. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. It helps a lot. And all you need to do is quite simply look for Random Urban Memories. It's that simple.
Or Ramboys. Ramboys also, right?
Ramboys also.
Ramboys.
It's that simple. Okay?
Thank you.
So we're going to be talking to you very soon. David, thanks very much for popping around.
Thanks a lot, Shane.
Always a pleasure. So, that's it.
Bye-bye.
We love you.
You managed to listen to the Rum Boys talk on Random Urban Memories. Just like and subscribe where you can on all platforms.